Thanks for listening to the AZ12 podcast, proudly presented by Little Caesars. All right, got a great deal going on right now. AZ12 exclusive code. 15% off for a $20+ order. Everybody out there, go do that. Check it out right there. Boiler Cat, as much as information as I gave you during realignment, you owe me a real time of this. Go do it right now, my friend. And again, also we got code LCFREECC for free crazy bread. All right, check it out. All right, now joined by a very talented guest host, Mr. Tyler Warden. Tyler, before we get started on Arizona basketball's latest editions, let's talk a little bit about your high school football coaching comings and goings.
Yeah, it's a new kind of second job I've taken on. My day job, I work at a company called Tenant Equity. We invest in businesses around the country, but I was looking for a way to get back into sports. So I recently joined Chaparral High School as an assistant quarterbacks coach. Coach Carroll came over from Pinnacle. He coached Spencer Rattler, Devin Dampier, JD Johnson. Got a chance to go back and coach his alma mater, and extremely fortunate to be able to join the staff. It's been a wild ride.
All right, we're going to be talking about that a little bit later on. Also, I see Rage in the comments. Rage, you owe me $1,000. You know what to do with that. Okay, now let's talk. Arizona gets Ivan is finally official now, and this goes to show you too. And we got some highlights here coming up here in just a minute. But again, no matter what you think, whether you like Tyon, Grant Foster, or whatever the case may be, this was who Arizona wanted. Arizona wanted, this has been a priority for months now. They knew exactly who they were going to go after, if Carter Bryant declared for the draft, and they got him. Now, again, we'll find out, just how good he is. But this whole idea that there was no idea that, Tommy's just sitting on his hands, just kind of sitting around and farting, that's not the case here, Mr. Tyler Warden.
Yeah, if you don't know now, you should trust in Tommy, right? He
yes,
had his guy from the start. And it was obvious as you look throughout the transfer portal, there was not a lot of guys that were being rumored at that small forward position. And, everyone kind of thought, well, maybe it's because they think Carter's coming back. And the reality is it's because Tommy is an international recruiter and he had his guy from the start.
Right. No, I mean, he did. Now, the thing that's also exciting about him, too, is that you watch him, too. He's a tough-minded guy. He's played. He's in, these guys from the cold soup countries, you got to remember, there was and I think Nick put it out there really well as well, that, this guy basically said, that I want to be able to, I want to play basketball. That's what I want to do. I want to be able to get out of, I want to be able to get out of here. And, he wants to get into areas with paved roads. And so, I mean, that's why, he's over here at this point. And you see him, though, on Draft Express in Zona, Germany. I'm just kidding. Kind of, not really. You look at Draft Express, they're talking about him being a first-round pick eventually. I mean, this is a guy that is on the radar. This isn't Philly B or anything like that, or, again, you got the grainy footage and, the triple toilet bowl rims that they're playing on. This is a lot different here. I mean, this is a guy that is well thought of in the international scene and by MNBA scouts.
Well, look, I mean, if you look at his tape for all of 5 seconds, you'll see he looks like a longer version of Pelle Larsson, right?
Yeah.
And Pelle Larsson's playing in the NBA. He's 6'7", he's 230 pounds. He's a phenomenal on-ball defender. I think that's going to be the biggest thing that day one he's going to be able to contribute is his on-ball defense. He's got a really high motor. He's not the most proficient shooter,
right,
but he gets downhill. And I think that's what you're really kind of seeing with Tommy and this 2025, 26 team. There is one goal offensively, and that is get the ball to the rack.
Right. Now, all right, Zona Germany says we don't have cold soup in Germany. Don't you have borscht? Isn't that a cold soup? I thought that, maybe, I don't know. All right, well, either way, Zona Germany. Do you have you do have paved roads. But again, that's not where he's coming from, though. So we need to be clear. I'm talking about where he's indigenous from. All right, now, it's going to be a very interesting at the small forward position then, because you got him and you got Dwayne Aristode. I know everybody hates ADO. Let's talk ADO for a second first. Do you hate ADO, Tyler Warden? Good.
No, I think the ADO hate is insane.
Yes.
I've been saying this for a year now. With ADO, it comes down to what is the role that you want him to play. Right. I do not want to see him as a starter that is getting starter level minutes for this Arizona team, and I didn't want to see it last year. Quite frankly, I wasn't a big fan of the idea of starting him to have him come out in the first media timeout anyways and playing 14 minutes a game. But ADO is a role-specific player, as being a spot-up shooter. I don't know what Arizona fans don't like in that.
Well, and again, and here's the thing, too. And the other thing I'm going to give ADO a little bit of credit for, and again, he's not a good defender. I know that. He's also kind of clever off the bounce at times. Every now and then he'll make a play off the dribble. You're like, was that ADO?
Yeah.
Like,
and he's pretty smart off ball, too. Like
right.
You saw last year, a lot of times where he'd cut to the rack. He's moving around consistently, and it's at least keeping the defense. They have to honor his shot. So It frees up the rest of the offense.
Yeah, and the thing about it, too, is here's where I'm at, Mr. Tyler Warden. You're smarter than me. You're also taller than me, so tell me if I'm wrong. If ADO is a 7th or 8th man, and he's playing, depending on the game, some games he might play 4 minutes, some games he might play 18 minutes. Just depends on the game. I am fine with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what's interesting about bringing on Kharchenkov is you now have a positional versatility at that small forward position that – it's really what he's doing across the board, right? You look at the point guard position, you got Jaden Bradley, who's going to be the floor general. You're going to have Evan Nelson, who's going to come in to spell him in that role. And you have Braden Burry, who's going to be more of a shooting type.
Right.
And then at the small forward position, it's very similar, where you have ADO kind of fits that Gabe York type mold, where you want him to shoot 5 threes a game and maybe play 12 minutes. And that's basically it. You have somebody like Aristode, who's going to kind of be more of like your Keyshawn Johnson type. He's a little bit more athletic. He can kind of
girthier.
He's girthier, right? He's a athletic 4, or he's a big 3, whichever way you kind of want to view it. And then you have Kharchenkov, who I think is kind of a longer, more imposing Pelle Larsson. So you're just getting more pieces to the chessboard if you're Tommy that can allow you to not only compete in the Big 12, but to compete in March.
All right, now let's get to a couple reads here. I want to get some highlights in here as well, and I want to talk a little bit about the portal. I want to get Mr. Tyler Warden's thoughts, but let's get a few reads in here first. What do we got here? Talk to me, Cody. All right, Foster Plumbing. Now, again, here's the cool thing. You got all these kids. I live right by the U of A. All these kids are moving out for the summer. And guess what? They're plumbing. It probably sucks now because these kids, they don't know what to do with the toilet, unlike a professional toilet user like myself. Now, Foster Plumbing says, come to us. They can give you 10% off when you mention AZ12. Residential and commercial. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Sewer lines, coating, water heaters. All right, if you've got gas or you need somebody to lay good pipe, they have got you going. Foster Plumbing, they are awesome. Check it out. Very excited about this. It's only natural that we have a plumbing sponsor, but again, they know how to lay good pipe. Check them out. They've been around, and they are trusted. Also, sewer inspection, 24/7 service as well, because toilets don't just get clogged on from like 8 to 4 during the day. They get clogged in the evenings, though, too. Check it out. Foster Plumbing, they lay good pipe. All right, now what else we got? All right, now. All right, let's talk a little bit. All right, Nova Home Loans. Nova Home Loans. This is the biggest, the Mooney team. This is the biggest entity going in the city, and there is a reason. It is because it works. All right, Zach Mooney. I've known Zach Mooney a long time. I used to referee his basketball games. He's very, very good. Well, he's okay at basketball, actually, but he's a really good dude. He's a good coach, and he's about the community. He can also, he's ready to help or buy or purchase or refinance your home. Take your shot with the Mooney team. Zach Mooney, Nova AZ Home Loans. Again, he's a big supporter of Tucson area basketball. If you know Zach Mooney, you know that that's the drill. Had a guy on Twitter say Palo Verde stand up. Zach Mooney went to Palo Verde as well. Scan that QR code, baby. Let's get this one going. Zach Mooney. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about these highlights. But first, Mr. Tyler Warden, I want to ask you something. All these people too on Twitter, they're like, I feel we're kind of at the stage in the game, too, where people just want somebody that has stats that they can just kind of pigeonhole in there. The Tyon Grant Foster thing, I don't get. I got people for 3 months saying, why don't they get him? Tommy doesn't want him. And again, there's a few reasons. I mean, he's going to be in his 7th year in college. I get that. I don't really care about that. But he shoots 20%. I mean, the Spacers should hate him. He didn't have a good year last year. There's supposedly some issues. I don't get it. I mean, people are making him out like this guy's like LeBron James or something.
Yeah, like I think Tyon Grant Foster is like your ideal WAC player.
Yes.
That's going to take, 30 shots a game, but he's just not kind of an Arizona prospect at this stage of his career. I had a few friends too that wanted him just because I think not necessarily the stats that they can see, but they can also just kind of see the frame. They can see the, physical attributes, and like, he's a physically gifted, individual. He's long, he's tall. But when you're trying to compete for national championships, I think you've got to be a lot more, 40 chess when it comes to roster construction. And I think that's what you're seeing now with this Tommy team, that you could make an argument goes 11 deep.
Yeah, for sure. Now let's look at some Ivan highlights right here. What do we got? All right, let's see here. These cold soup, baby. What do we got? All right, well, that wasn't good. All right, what do we got? Boom, look at that dunk. Oh, look at that blocked shot. That's the thing that Armin, if you follow international recruiting, you should follow the Armin Jovic or whatever his name is. He said that this guy is about as good a defender as there is in Europe in his age bracket. I mean, you look at him, this guy is physical. Like you said, this guy's manning up. He's got a little girth to him.
Well, this is like what you want out of a Big 12 defender, right?
Yes.
Like he plays very physical. He's not afraid to, go after defenders. He'll pick them up, 3/4 of the way down the court.
Right.
The other thing I think that's really understated about his game is his ability to get in transition is really impressive. Like he is a high motor player. And with Tommy's offense that relies so heavily on being able to get out and fast break, like there's going to be more than a handful of times this year where him and Jane are running a 2-on-1 because he's just the first guy to get down the court.
Yeah, and I like your Pelle Larsson comparison right there. Like a little bit bigger Pelle Larsson. I mean, I think the thing that I think you're going to find out, and we always joke about it too, is that the sneaky athleticism right here. Oh, you guys talking about Philly B. Get out of here with that. Come on.
It's definitely
you address that, Tyler Warden. Slap him around. You're bigger than I am.
I mean, it's not really even close from a physical perspective to Philly B. The one thing I will say is I'm not extremely optimistic about him as a spot-up shooter.
No, I'm not either.
Mechanically, it looks fine. Like there's no reason that he couldn't be a great shooter, but like the stats aren't really there. He's kind of got like a little bit of a slow release. I think that's an area that we don't give Pella enough credit. Is he shot 40% from three-point ranges last year. So I think you're going to miss that a little bit. It is kind of cliche to just give him the Pelle Larsson and the Christian Brown comparison. Right. But it's very similar. Right. So I think that this is a prototypical Tommy Lloyd wing.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. Now, the other thing too is
watch this highlight right here and tell me if you've ever seen Philly B do this.
All right, let's see.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Yeah, you don't see Philly B do any of that. And again, here's the other thing I don't get about some of these putzes on Twitter. One guy was like, oh, well, he only averaged 6 points per game for Byron. Dude, he's literally playing with Shabazz Napier and Carson Edwards and guys that are literally just the rung below the MNBA players. This guy is playing in a very high level of basketball, and I think it was Nick that put it out there, where Nick says that he's like, dude, some of these teams would beat a college team by 40 points because they're all ex-college All-Americans. It's different, and the guy's 17, 18 years old.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Is I think with the Euros, a lot of time we forget how old they actually are because they don't go through the traditional it's come out of high school. You kind of he's 18 years old.
Right.
Who knows how much bigger he could actually get, just given his length and everything, given the fact that he's younger. It's not crazy to think that he could put on an inch or two. Right. Definitely could use Chris Rounds in the weight room. I think that he is, he averaged 2 points or whatever for Bayern Munich. I don't really care. He's playing against top level talent, and he doesn't look like he doesn't belong.
And now Kobe makes a rare good point here. Kobe, let's see here. And this Papa shot guy, stop crashing out. Okay, let's see here. Says, this is a very good point, Kobe Elfield. He says, Ivan plays on a team that has guys that had NBA contracts. Philly B played in gyms without seating. This isn't the same. Philly, again, I like Philly B. I think Philly B is I don't know how Philly B was starting on an NCAA tournament team last year. But Philly B isn't the worst player in the world, but Philly B was also playing at LA Fitness in those highlights there, Mr. Tyler Warden.
Yeah, Philly B was probably the 4th or 5th option on that New Mexico team last year, and even at that point, it was kind of I think that Richard Pitino would have easily taken somebody over him if he had the option.
Yes.
Although
he did take him with him to Xavier, though.
That's true. That is a good point. You need bodies to play.
Yeah. All right, now, great point. Welcome, Tyler. Vegas Falcon, one of our favorite people. Vegas Falcon keeps my pockets coming. He keeps the mortgage. Vegas Falcon basically takes care of my mortgage each month. I very much appreciate that, Vegas Falcon. $20 super snap. Welcome, Tyler. You mentioned 11-man rotation. That would be awesome, but do you see Tommy actually playing more than 8? That's a great point, Mr. Vegas Falcon. Let's go over, because that is actually on my list of things I wanted to ask you about. So we're going to go through guys that we know for a fact are going to play. And by playing, we know that some games, basically 5 minutes or more per game. That's, so, all right. So, Jaden Bradley, I assume you can put Jaden Bradley down as playing more than 5 minutes per game. Okay. Jaden, Braden, Dwayne, Ivan, ADO. I'm writing this down as I go. I'm very smart. Koa, Krevis, Tobe. All right, so that's right there. Just before we even go for any further, we've got we got Jaden 1, Braden 2, Dwayne 3, Ivan 4, ADO 5, Koa 6, Krevis 7, Tobe 8. I think Evan will play somewhere in that
8 to 10 range.
I would just say, something there, 5 to 10, something like that. Yeah. So then you got Evan, and then you got CD's going to play. I don't know how. CD. Listen, I get their highlights. I get all that. This dude, they expect to be their starting center in a year. I mean, he's good. He's going to play. Now, I think there could be games where they don't play a ton those last 2, but I think that's kind of what you're looking at, though. I think it's a deep team.
Well, and like the question there would be Krivas, right? Like how many minutes can you actually get him? And then, let's say that Krivas is playing 30, right? That leaves 10 minutes down low. Are you going to do a Koa, Tobe, Awaka kind of split? Or are you going to spell him a bit with CD? If you had to ask me, I would think CD is going to get more run than Bill. Is that what
for sure. I would agree.
He's going to get more run than him. Interesting. I think Bill could even get some like developmental minutes. Maybe even a little.
I'm going to let you in on a little insight here. I think Bill's going to redshirt.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think that's probably the smart move. I think that the front court, it's still kind of. I want to see how it actually looks. Like I get what it is on paper, but I want to see how it actually looks on the court to figure out the minute distribution. But I mean, if that's 8 plus Nelson plus CD, I mean, that's 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of is what it is. Now, what are your actually? All right, let's get 2 more reasons.
Notice this: we didn't mention Bryce James, right? And I'm LeBron and Savannah, I'm hoping that he redshirts this year.
Agreed.
Right? But he's also one of the highly touted freshmen that we're talking about coming in.
You know what I don't get? I don't get the people that are always like, man, I just can't wait to get out of college or whatever. Dude, enjoy college. You're not a 5-star player. Like, your dad's a billionaire. Enjoy your time in college. If you got a red shirt, cool. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, I would go back and do 4 years of college in a heartbeat.
Yeah, all right, now. Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah, you know what's always amazing? So I had this, again, it doesn't really matter. But so when I was a freshman, I had this Asian roommate, and he kept telling me, he's like, I can't wait to graduate in like 2.5 years. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to graduate in 5.5 years. And then he started telling me it was his culture to get out of there and, graduate. So I respected it. But I just remember thinking, man, we got totally different game plans on this. Enjoy your college life, everybody. It is fun. Enjoy it. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, hey, I can't see you anywhere, Mr. Tyler Warden. Where are you at? Tyler.
I'm here, Mike.
Tyler, I can't see you. Oh, God. Arizona primary eye care. Whew, got me back for a second. Yeah, it was almost like I didn't have. Hey, look at these things right here. These St. Laurents. These things are big. These are big. Look at these things, Mr. Tyler Warden. These things, you know that some people like have chairs and stuff, or like the shoes that put like 2 inches onto your your height. Dude, these
That's what
things.
The glasses do for you.
No,
you're getting some swag, Mike. I like it.
Yeah. Get a load of this. They put 20 IQ points on it, and they make me look cooler when I go into the club. Yeah, so I don't go to the club. But either way, they got a great deal going on right now. June deal, everybody out here. June deal. 50% off all non-prescription sunglasses. All of the cool stuff. The Gucci's. The, I don't know, all the other stuff. What are other cool glasses? I'm sure they have.
I am not a cool person, so I couldn't tell.
Oh, you are cool. Anybody that says they're not a cool person is generally a cool person. All right. Either way, check it out, though. They got all kinds of stuff. Go there. Check them out. They got all kinds of great stuff. It is awesome. You will thank me later. Okay. Now. All right. Now, Aris Dental. Now, as everybody in here knows, it's called the championship package in high school. the rumor followed me. Just it is what it is. I can't control the rumors. But there's another championship package going around, and that's Land the Man with the Master Plan. Land the Man with the Master Plan is saying 1997 to get that championship package. Look at this woman right here, Mr. Tyler Warden. She is very excited because she's going to emerge with probably the championship package, tongue intact, everything, and it's going to be 1997. She's not going to have to go to Russia or one of those Eastern Slovakian countries to get a similar deal. She's going to stay right here in Tucson and get that. TucsonImplants.com, TucsonTeeth.com, Land the Man with the Master Plan, and you will keep your tongue. Okay. Real quick, Papa Shot, why are you you're very mad? It's okay.
He's on the crash out crew. I think Kobe can take a back seat today. Papa Shot's the captain of the crash out crew.
Prim, is that you? I'm just kidding. I had a fun interaction with Prim today. All right. What were we talking about, Mr. Tyler Warden? You were about to make a very good point.
The rotation.
Oh, no, let me ask you this. Your expectations then. You had that in your notes. What are you looking for this coming season? And first thing I'm going to ask you is, do you expect Arizona by the end of the year to be better than last year's team?
Yes.
I agree.
Yes. Although I will say this, how we measure better, I think, is an interesting question here, because one of the things that I think hurt Arizona last year from a resume perspective was how difficult that non-conference schedule was.
Right.
Like, you start the season off, you're 4-5. It made you more prepared for the Big 12, which I think was very important, but it also led to us being a 4 seed and getting Duke in the Sweet 16.
Right.
I think that you could have a similar situation this year with our non-conference schedule, which somehow gets even tougher, where from a resume perspective, I don't know, I could see us being a 4 or a 5 seed just because, you're playing a lot of really tough teams. But in terms of overall talent on the court and the ability to win a national championship, I think that this team is going to be better than last year's team.
Yeah, and so let's go position by position here. And I want to talk Caleb Love in the shooting guard position. I was a big Caleb Love fan. I will say this, though, that I've noticed a lot of people that were bitching about Caleb Love for 2 years while he was here are the first ones in my comments saying, how are we going to replace Caleb Love? Dude, it's like the Jeff Goodman thing. You're literally crapping on the guy for 2 years, and then you're like, oh, we're going to replace him. Here's where I'm at with Caleb Love, and I love Caleb Love. Big fan of Caleb Love. Caleb Love, I don't think that Braden Burries is ever going to have the apex moments that Caleb Love had when he was here.
Right.
Your Oregon game where he just basically just took it over. He's the best player in the court. I mean, heck, the Duke game where he single-handedly, kept us in the game. I do think it's going to be more of a steady Eddie, though. I also don't think that you're going to have as many of the 2 for 14 games where you're like, what the heck's going on out here? I think you're going to see somebody that's going to get better as the season goes on. And I am just going to say, no, I didn't. Oh, hey, be very clear, Mr. Cello. If you say bitchin', that is not the same. That is not a swear word. But I think the impact is going to be fairly similar. It's just going to be different.
Yeah, I think that Braden has a higher floor and a lower ceiling from just a shooting perspective. I think that Caleb, the problem with Caleb up until last year was he had the ability to shoot you out of games. Mm-hmm. Last year, he started going to the rack more. He started using that floater a little bit more, and it kind of raised that floor. And he was just aware enough that he didn't really shoot you out of those games anymore. Right. He still had his off shooting nights. Like, there was a stretch there, when was it? January, December, where he was probably shooting 20% from the field. I don't think you're going to have as much of that. I think it takes kind of a special breed of player to be able to put up 15 shots if you're shooting, 1 for 15.
Right.
But I don't know if Braden Burries is going to have that type of ceiling. And if there is kind of one major, now I wouldn't say major, but minor question mark I would put around this team, it's the pure shooting potential. Because I think you have somebody like ADO. I think you've got somebody like Burries that can be a spot-up shooter. I think that Jaden took a little bit of a step back last year from 3-point range. Yeah. I think that you might not get as much production from, the small. I mean, Carter was phenomenal from 3-point last year. But I think in terms of just overall scoring, being able to get to the hoop, being able to run offensive sets, I think that we're going to be a more efficient offense than we were.
Totally agree. Now, Jaden Bradley, Sheer and I actually agree on this one. I like Jaden Bradley. Again, I mean, I think he's a winning basketball player. I like players that don't do things they can't do. I need Jaden, though, because listen, I know that he doesn't shoot a great percentage, but if teams are playing 30 feet off of him, he's got to take the shot, and he's got to make a decent amount of them. Because, and here's again, Tyler, I don't look at him and say, man, there's no way that shot's going in when he shoots it. He's just got to shoot it with confidence. That's the big thing that I need from Jaden Bradley.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to figure out what his field goal percentage drop-off was from deep last year, because 2 years ago, I mean, he was a very proficient three-point shooter. Could at least knock down the open shot. I'm curious to see if that is something that he works on throughout this offseason, if it's something, because I think that is going to be a very important element to this team. If he can be a dependable three-point shooter and stretch the offense a little bit more, it's going to open up the lane so much when it comes to somebody like Kharchenkov or Braden Burries or, even Evan Nelson, not necessarily in terms of, getting to the rack, but being able to open things
Just
up.
be a threat. Just be a threat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I just don't want to have the thing where it's like, all right, well, it's like when Tobe Awaka, well, he did make a 3 this year, but it's like, I don't want them to play off of you like that. So that's where I'm at. All right, now, as far as the small forward position goes, then I think this is going to be kind of a committee approach. Then I put this out there before, and I think that it's going to be a fairly decent unit between. Now, listen, I think Aristote has the highest upside if he's fully healthy. Yeah. You got to remember. I mean, anybody out there. Or go ahead, Mr. Tyler Ward.
I don't know. Kharchenkov's game, I would think that it's
say it. Go ahead. I like it. Go ahead.
It's closer. I would still give the nod to Aristote, but I was reasonably impressed with what I saw, and I've seen people that have said this is a potential lottery pick down the road. Right. I think it's probably closer in terms of the ceiling than we would have thought.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. I think the thing with Aristote that I just look at is Aristote, and again, if he's fully healthy, I mean, and I'm not saying that Ivan isn't, but you just look at Aristote, and that's a dude that just looks he just looks different on the court. He looks different physically. And keep in mind, I keep bringing this up to people. This was a guy that was I think it was Rivals that had him ranked 8 or something at this time last year, 24/7 had him at 28, so, split the difference, whatever the case may be. But I think between both of those guys, you got 2 guys that I think have an underrated upside here, Tyler, and I don't think that there's any reason that both of them can't have a Carter-type impact, a different type of impact, but as far as the same impact, though.
Yeah, I think Aristote is athletically superior to Kharchenkov. I think that Kharchenkov is a little bit more polished right now than Aristote is. But I mean, that's kind of to be expected. He, was out for most of last year, if not all of it. Right. But I think that he probably has the higher upside, but I am impressed enough where Kharchenkov is from a developmental perspective to where you can kind of project it out a little bit more. I think it's less uncertain as Aristote, who might have, a higher ceiling, but, could also not develop into what we're hoping for.
But you know what? Yeah, but what we're dealing with, though, and I think what's exciting about this is we've got 2 guys, though, that I think we both know, if their ceiling hits, that's a pro.
Oh, yeah.
And, that's the thing. ADO, again, we just spent time defending ADO. ADO is never going to be a pro. I mean, you kind of know what ADO is, but ADO then is that, but ADO, I'm going to keep saying, though, if that's my third wing, yes, please sign me up for that.
Well, ADO is going to be a pro. It just probably is in Australia, which I don't think he would necessarily hate. But yeah, I mean, if those are your 2 guys, and let's say they're getting, 30 to 35 minutes between the 2 of them at the 3, and then I think Aristote, you could probably play a little bit at the 2 if you want to have Burries come in and, kind of be more of a traditional point guard role. I think there's just so much positional versatility across this lineup that you can do a lot of different things. And I mean, from a ceiling perspective, this team, they are national championship contenders.
I would agree with that.
Your original question is, what is my expectation for this team? I think that the expectation for Arizona Wildcats teams needs to kind of be more realistic. The expectation should be, we should always be a top 25 team. I don't think we should ever be an unranked team. I think that we should always be a top 5 seed in the NCAA tournament. Right. From there, I think that a lot of stuff just comes down to, how certain games played out or injuries, or I mean, there's just a lot of variability. But this is a team that, if you put all the pieces together, can definitely go to the Final Four.
All right, G-Rod, I agree with you. Yes, ADO is a defensive liability, but I'm also saying that as a 7th or 8th man, he's absolutely awesome. So that's all I'm saying. I don't want him to be a starter. I don't want him playing 25, 28, 30 minutes per game. I don't want any of that. But again, like we talked about before, if he's playing 4 to 18, 4 to 16 minutes per game, depending on the matchup, we will like that. Now, to answer... Go ahead.
Think of something like this. Imagine Braden Burries gets 3 fouls in the first half, and you roll out a lineup of Bradley, ADO, and Ivan. Right? I don't really care that ADO is a defensive liability there because I have a plus defender in Ivan. Right? So I get that he's a defensive liability. I will say he developed defensively a lot last year. I think that's something that we haven't given him enough credit for. But I don't really care if he's going to take 4 threes a game and hit 2 of them.
Right. I would agree with that. Now, so we are going to get to baseball. We're going to talk like the last 20 minutes of the show about baseball. The show goes a little bit longer now because we got more sponsors. Good thing. Okay. But now I want to get to a little bit of football, and then we're going to get to a little bit of baseball. Oh, by the way, one thing, and I don't think people are bringing this up enough. They're like, oh, well, lost. Can we also talk about how much of a difference having Koa Pete as opposed to Trey Townsend is going to be?
Yeah. I mean, I understand frustrations of Arizona fans. Like, it's the same thing. It's been 20 some odd years since we've been to the Final Four, and it's hard to take somebody that you haven't seen play a lot, like Kokoa, if you're just a casual fan, and be banking on him. But I mean, you're going to find out in the red-blue game, oh, this is a superior athlete and a more developed player than Trey Townsend. And I think, to Trey's credit, he was really good in March, but he just didn't pan out the way that we ultimately thought he would.
All right, now let's get to a little bit of football, and then we're going to get to baseball, everybody in there, because I got some baseball thoughts. Let's get a couple reads in here first, though. What do we got? Talk to me. What do we got? Talk to me, Cody. All right, now listen. I will endorse Mr. Tyler Warden. Tyler Warden's awesome. I love having Tyler Warden on the show. He'll be on again. I'm not going to endorse Andre Veras. Nope, not on my watch. No, sirree. Now, I'll highly recommend him. And here's the reason why. Did you recently change jobs and you're looking with your 401k and you don't know what to do with your new employer retirement plan? I don't know what any of that means because I'm not that cool. But guess what? Andre Veras can help you. Does he have a young family? Do you have a young family and you want to start building that foundation? Andre Veras can help you. Again, highly recommend, not endorsing. Give Andre a call at 520-325-3456 and reference the AC12 podcast for a complimentary initial meeting. And check us out at longviewii.com. Boom. Check it out. All right, now, yes, Joseph's coming on at 11:15, Dennis, but he doesn't have a computer. All right, now there's the get all this stuff right here. AZ12 Podcast Shop, Fourth Wall. Get some of these shirts. You want to look cool. You want to look like this guy up here. You want to look at. Check it out. Boom. Check it out. All right. Now, what else we got, Cody?
I also have one more thing to tease real quick before we move to the next read.
What do you got? Oh, AZ12 prep shirts. Oh God.
Oh,
dude, that goes hard, man. Dude, awesome. But Cody, you got to do something. You got to put a dollar. You got to put a dollar bill in there, and you got to put a book that's crossed out because we're just going to pay kids, and we are not going to make them go to school. It's a diploma mill.
I was gonna add a Latin phrase that said "no books, just games."
Yeah, we need people to know what it means, though. Because, yeah, but either way, check that AZ12 prep. That's coming big. That's going to be big. All right, now what else we got? One more. All right, now RJ's Frozen Cactus. Dennis Walsh is in here. He's probably flying his jet around as we speak. And but again, the parking lot there, it is massive. So again, 100+ craft beers, $2 deals, pizza, wings, tacos, burgers, and more. Not one bad seat in the house. You can go there. Kobe L. Thiel actually went there. Joseph said he would go there 4 different times. Each time he didn't. Probably that social anxiety stuff. I get it. But either way, check it out. Really good stuff. $2 deals and no bad seats in the house. Very, very good food as well. All right, now. Let's talk a little high school football recruiting in state, Mr. Tyler Warden. Let's give a little bit of a refresher first, just about what you're up to, because you are literally boots on the ground.
I am definitely boots on the ground right now. So I am a offensive analyst and assistant quarterbacks coach at Chaparral for this upcoming season. Just joined the staff about a month and a half ago. So I am was thrown into the deep end of the pool, and I'm learning it as quickly as I can. We just finished up our kind of spring install, like a lot of the Phoenix schools up here. Summer strength and conditioning started yesterday, and 7-on-7 tournaments are kicking off in camp. So we actually are going to camp down at the U of A next Wednesday with a lot of the top schools up here. So it's kind of a good opportunity to just learn more about Phoenix high school football, which I will tell you is
it's awesome,
impressive. It feels like college level. It's insane how different it is up here.
What happened? Why is most of the talent at 2 schools now? It's at Basha and Desert Edge. What happened there? I didn't even hear of Desert Edge until like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's really three if you think about it, because Liberty up in Peoria, they've won back-to-back Open championships, and Colin Thomas over there has done a heck of a job since he took over in 2019. I think that one of the big things that people in Tucson might not, consider is one. I mean, the population's huge up here, right?
Yeah.
Phoenix is 5 times the size of Tucson, so you're just going to get more outliers. You're going to get some pretty exceptional athletes. I think the other big thing too is it's an open enrollment, city.
Right.
So you're able to kind of, the transfer portal is kind of a thing out here.
Right.
Like you get kids that transfer pretty often. And I think the other thing too is they've just made a lot of investment in these programs over the years. And you've had coaches that have very much wanted to move up in their careers and have developed really great programs. And, you look at somebody like Sean Iguana, who, led Chandler to, I think it was like 7 titles in 8 years or something like that. And now he's the running backs coach at ASU.
Right.
You've just got a considerable amount of investment when it comes to facilities and training and coaches and coaching staffs. It's impressive. And, Basha, Desert Edge, Liberty, they've been great the past few years. Chandler had kind of a dynasty for a bit. Saguaro had a dynasty for a bit. I think a lot of it just comes down to kind of the coaches that are there and the investments that have been made. And, with an open enrollment cycle, people can look at like Shamar Berryhill, right? He was at Sabino. Right. He was trying to kind of go the D1 route. And he ended up at Centennial, which ironically enough, they were 3-7 in the regular season last year, yet they won the state championship because they had all of their transfer players that became eligible. And,
right.
They made.
Where did he end up? Did he end up anywhere?
I don't believe so.
Yeah. No.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Basically what it is you got like 4 or 5 Sal Points up there, where Sal Point gets everybody in town. You've got, obviously, you got Bijan, you got Lathan, you got Rushing, you got Will Height, you got all those dudes. You got like 8 of them up there, though, so it's going to be interesting. Now, Tucson is about the size, but no, it's not good. So let me ask you this then. Are all these kids going to leave the state then, all these 5-star kids? Because they generally leave the state.
There's a lot of them. Like if you look at last year's class, you had guys that went to Texas A&M, Oregon, Notre Dame, Wisconsin. The year before that, you had Ohio State, Alabama, Oklahoma, Texas. So from like the top end, you're competing against every school in the country. Right. Jamar Beal Goins, I think is his name. He was a cornerback at Desert Edge last year. He had an offer from anywhere he wanted to go. Right. I think that Arizona's actually done a pretty good job of getting into that Phoenix market with maybe not the top tier talent because it's just going to be tough. But they had 5 commits last year from the Phoenix area. They already have 1 this year, and Hamisi Juma, which they just posted a video about today. So I think just given the amount of depth of talent that there is in this market, you can still field a really, really good team, even if you're missing out on these 5 stars or high 4s.
Basically, what I need to have happen is these kids not to go to ASU. That's my only concern. I worry about these kids starting to go to ASU. That's my. So
I'll say this.
My only concern.
So Kenny Dillingham, is from Chaparral. Charlie Regal was a longtime coach at Chaparral. Mm-hmm. Our head coach at Chaparral right now, is best friends with Kenny Dillingham. So I've got to, meet that staff. I hate to say it, I like them a lot. I want them to go, 11-1, and they just lose us every year. But I'm really impressed with what they're doing, and they've done a really, really good job of kind of developing out this Phoenix market, right? Like I was talking about Sean Iguana earlier, who had been at Chandler for a bunch of years. Jason Mons is their tight end coach. He was at Saguaro for a bunch of years. They do a really good job of outreach. They had a coaches clinic a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, whereas like every major program in the city came and they all met with the staff. They're doing a good job, unfortunately.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of? Now, listen, nobody liked how Jed Fish left, but I will say this about Jed, is that Jed's work ethic was awesome. Yeah. Is that nobody outworked Jed. He was the first one in. He knew every high school coach. He knew all of that. I kind of get that same sense with Dilly. Some guys you just see they're a little bit different, but they just kind of get it. You kind of see you see that with Dilly. So, yeah.
And I hope we're starting to see that with Brennan too. like I'm cautiously optimistic about some of the off-season growth that I've seen out of the staff, or I think we've all kind of seen out of the staff. So I'll say cautiously optimistic.
Right. You know what's funny? Like, I had somebody, I was working out, and somebody actually recognized me. And he comes up to me. He's like, "Oh, you've gone soft on Brennan." No, I haven't. Here's where I stand on Brennan, is that last year was an F. I will stand by that. It was an atrocious job. I'm going to say this, though. I still want him to win. Like, the people that are like, so, I mean, this isn't a Sumlin situation. Like, I've told people this before. By the end of the Sumlin era, I was hoping Arizona lost just because I needed him out of here. I didn't want him back. You knew there wasn't the guy. Brennan's a good dude. He doesn't have the vices, obviously, that Sumlin did. But the things that I asked him to do, I got to give, even though it's probably not natural for him, he's been doing. He's been out in the community more. He opened practice, and there wasn't the stupid little subtext in the email saying, "Don't tell any fans what time practice is." They've been out there. They've been engaging. He brought in an offensive coordinator that actually knows what he's doing. That I got to give him credit on that. Now, will it mean that Arizona's good next year? Who knows? Maybe Arizona sucks next year. They could absolutely suck next year. But I'm also going to sit here, and I'm not going to just sit here and say that there's no chance that they're going to be good. I'm going to root against him because he's doing the things that I think a lot of people wanted him to do, Tyler. So I can't just sit here and poop on him for that.
Yeah, I think with the benefit of hindsight, we can kind of look back on it and realize that our expectations, given the situation, probably weren't realistic, right? Like, at the end of the day, we were taking a San Jose State head coach, putting him into a Power 5 conference team with, a roster that was about to completely turn over.
Right.
I think he would be the first to admit you that he fell short of kind of what his personal expectations were. But at the end of the day, if you were a teacher and you had a student that had an F and he worked his way up to a D, are you going to be upset that he has a D, or are you going to give him praise for the growth that he's making? And I think that where this program's going, it at least feels like it's in the right trajectory relative to where we were 6 months ago or 9 months ago. But it's not to say that the job's finished by any stretch of the imagination. Like, it's got to continue, but at least from a trajectory perspective, it's on the right direction.
I gotta also give him credit on getting Seth Daggy. Hey, Joseph, you can hop back in here when you want. We saw you back there. I got to give him credit with getting Seth Daggy, because with Seth Daggy, some guys just kind of get it. You could just kind of tell they're destined for bigger things, like Mr. Tyler Warden. And so you look at Daggy, though, and you're like, man, that guy's going to be a head coach at some point. So the fact that they were able to lasso him in, bring him in, I got to give him a lot of credit for that one. And I'll put it to you like this. I think the offense will be, even though you lost T-Mac and some other players, I think the offense is going to be better. Not that that's going to say much, but I got to give him credit for that one as well.
Well, and you got to give him credit, too, when you think of the financial constraint that he was under. I think that's another part that, like, a lot of fans miss, is like the financial element of everything. Like, we would have loved to have had a Brennan Marion, right? But we weren't going to be able to afford him, and he got a head coaching job.
Right.
Marcus Arroyo signed a extension that, we wouldn't have been able to compete with. So I think, given the fact that we didn't have a lot of money to work with to go get a young, energetic leader in the program that runs a hell of an offense, sign me up.
All right, now let's get some reads in real quick, and then we got Joseph coming on. We see Joseph warming up in the bullpen, getting ready to complain about Chip. All right, what do we got here? Come on, Cody, talk to me. Give me, bring him reads. Bring me rhymes or Bridge Tech Communications. Now you might say, Mike Luke, where Jim were you at? Vasa Fitness. They probably use Bridge Tech Communications there because everybody knows about it. 750% average ROI. Health, gym, wellness, spa, all of that stuff. Dennis Walsh, well, he's going to Baggins or flying around the city. He's also probably looking for a men's clinic. I'm just kidding. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. I'm not, just kidding. But either way, Bridge Tech Communications has you covered. Boom, check it out. Our guy Tony runs it. Very good stuff. They have over 100 clients, and they've done business with over 1,000 people. BridgeTechCommunications.com. Okay. Now what do we got? X gon' give it to you. He gon' give it to you. X gon' give it to you. He gon' give it to you. Comfort X HVAC. Mr. Tyler Warden, do you have air conditioning?
I do, and I need it serviced badly. So.
Ooh. All right. Well, again, there's no better place to go. Now, granted, you are up in Phoenix. So, again, maybe they might help you. I don't know. You'd have to ask them. But be like Kobe Thiel. If that AC is on the Ritz or on the Fritz, it's on the Ritz. It means the exact opposite thing that I wanted to say. If it's on the Fritz and you're like, oh no, gosh, ComfortX HVAC, ComfortXHVAC.com. Our good pal Tony Jamino went through them, saved him $2,000, and Anthony Humbert in there as well went through them. Very, very happy with it. Great, built on trust for the long haul. Perfect track record. ComfortXHVAC.com. All right, now, it is time for, and we'll go back and forth here, Mr. Tyler Warden. It is time for the ultimate chip hail denier, Mr. Joseph. Bring Joseph on, Cody. Hello, Joseph.
What up, Mike? Can you hear me? Am I coming through good on my phone?
Yeah, you are. What is that? What is that? Highlands? What are you doing there?
Oh, well, that's a place I used to work at. Just the Highlands at Dove Mountain.
All right, now, Joseph. First of all, you're like a legend in this chat. So we've got
the first chat rat to make it out.
Yeah,
make
all
it
right.
out chat purgatory, huh?
Now, fill people in. This is Mr. Dennis Walsh says, or Mr. Dennis Walsh, Mr. Tyler Warden says, that is so Gen Z's from the car. Fill people in. What does Joseph do?
So Joseph does taxes and accounting. So Joseph went to U of A, got his accounting degree, and just it was history from there.
All right. Now, we got Joseph. You've been wrong on a lot of things over the years.
And I am outside. I see a comment. I am outside. I'm in my car.
Right, yes. Joseph, do you want to admit you were wrong on Chip Hale?
I always, Mike, for the last time, I always liked Chip. And the whole debate stemmed from Kobe and I going back and forth about Andrew Kane. I liked Mason White. I liked Kremkowski. There were just some guys that Chip whiffed on, local guys that I feel like don't get enough attention as much as the guys that he hit it out of the park with.
All right. Now, as you know, nobody follows the Arizona high school baseball or Tucson high school baseball scene closer than Mike Luke. We all know this. This is true. These beefs that you have. One guy, Isaiah Jackson. Yeah. Isaiah Jackson was committed to ASU for 15 months before Chip got here. What was Chip supposed to do?
Well, you know him and Mason were in the same class, right?
Oh, duh. I mean,
yeah. And let me tell you a little story about Demetrio Crisantes, too, who committed to U of A, or who committed to New Mexico State, and Chip flipped. He ended up getting drafted, but Chip was out there flipping people, and he never gave Isaiah a look, I guess.
So do you think Isaiah would have flipped then?
I guess he's a local Tucson boy who wouldn't want to go to U of A, especially with Chip. He brought in a lot of hype. He stayed around for Willie Bloomquist, so I assume that he'd probably want to go with Chip Hale.
All right, Milo Sanford, your guy.
Milo Rushford.
Gosh, yeah. Milo Rushford. This guy went straight out of high school.
Okay, so is that then your point? We shouldn't recruit kids that were drafted, or kids that plan on getting drafted?
I have it on very good authority that he told everyone I am going pro. I'm sure you heard the same thing.
Well, that's what everybody who goes pro says.
So what is he supposed to do?
At least look at him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was committed to New Mexico State, which is like a little brother for U of A baseball program, so should have been given a look.
All right. Now, overall, though, with Chip, you look at the recruiting overall, though, has it been good enough for you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like it a lot more than Jay Johnson. Even Jay Johnson's was. I think once we got Dave Lawn out, the pitching coach, a lot of good things started happening on that end. We got a legit pitching coach, and I think he knows what he's doing.
All right, both of you guys, what are your expectations for North Carolina, Arizona, North Carolina? We're back in the A, but what kind of chance do we have? Both of you guys, go.
Both teams are extremely. You go, Tyler.
If you're traveling across the country against the number 5 team in the nation and you've got to win 2 out of 3, you probably don't have the best chance. But I will say the way that this team is hitting right now and the way that they're pitching, I mean, everyone has a puncher's chance, but this team has a pretty good chance, in my opinion, of making it to Omaha.
What do you think?
I think we're 2 extremely hot teams, and I think whoever comes out will make a run for it, whether it be us or North Carolina. I think that one of us will be in the World Series.
Hey, you guys want to know something? If they go to the if they go to the College World Series, guess who's going there? Me.
How many jello shots are you going to have?
Oh,
on
there's
behalf
so
of
many.
Arizona.
Hey, but I can also go back to the motherland, Crete, Nebraska, while I'm there. Hey, you guys want to hear a joke? You guys want to hear a joke?
Fighting
Let me hear it.
All right. What do you call somebody that moves out of Crete, Nebraska?
What? Oh, I've heard this one.
It's good. It's funny.
What do you call them?
An
What do you call 'em?
excretion.
There you go.
Do you get it? Do you get it like Foster Plumbing?
We're gonna work on the jokes a little bit, but
Oh.
it's a work in progress.
All right, fine. Now Mason White. All right, now let's talk. I wanted to ask you guys a little bit, Joseph. Tell me a little bit about Kobe Field. Does he know anything about college baseball, high school baseball, or is he just a fan, as the Gen Zers would say?
No, Kobe knows ball. Kobe knows
I
ball.
was hoping you'd say something else.
I mean, he lets his Ironwood bias get in there, but Kobe knows ball.
All right. Now, I was going to say he told me everything going on at Ironwood. I might maybe I'll apply for the job. Mike Luke. Oh, AZ12 Prep taking all the Ironwood kids would be an interesting one. Okay, now let's Vegas Falcon. Joseph showing up strong. There is hope for our future. Now, let me ask you guys a question here. You guys are two normal Gen Zers. Let me ask you.
I'm a millennial.
Are you a millennial?
Yeah, I'm 31.
Oh man, I thought you were younger. Hey, that's a good thing.
No.
All right,
Hey.
Joseph. How old are you,
I'm
Joseph?
26. I'm
All right.
26.
Why do you not own a laptop or a computer?
I own one. I just didn't want to charge it, so I don't have any use for it. Now that I'm out of school, I have no use for a laptop.
All right. Well, it's not like anybody gave you a heads up that you might be on the show today. So I mean, I kind of get not I kind of get not charging it though. What high school did you go to?
I went to Flowing Wells.
Flowing Wells. We were way off. I thought you were like a Cienega kid or something.
No.
So you were a Flowing Wells. What are they? Dorados?
Caballero.
Oh, the Caballeros. Yeah. What is it? A cowboy?
Yeah.
All right, now. So, all right. So I know you don't own a laptop, Kobe. All right, now let's let's get to. I want to get both of your guys' take on a little bit of Arizona football. Listen, Joseph. A lot of people were commenting on your Jeremiah Patterson love. Do you do?
Which I'll clear up. Don't worry.
Yeah. All right. So, what does success look like for Arizona football this coming season? Just tell me what success. I don't even care. I've been very clear on what success is for me. I just want to be entertained. That's all I want. What does success look for you? I'm a younger millennial and a older Gen Zer.
I think we need a bowl. I think we need just a bowl appearance. Nothing can be the Heinz Mayo Bowl for all I care, but we need to make a bowl.
That's high expectations. Mr. Tyler Warden, what say you?
Yeah, I think the barometer of success, if you're not, if it's going to be kind of vaguely defined, is just continued progression, upward trajectory, reinvigoration of where the development of the program is. If you want to put a metric on it, I think it's probably a bowl game. If we won a bowl game this year, I think that is undoubtedly a successful season.
Oh, God. I mean, you might as well give Brent Brennan Coach of the Year in the Big 12 at that point, no?
But I'll say this. I mean, candidly, if we go 5-7, but we look good in the process, and there's a couple of games where it's like, we let that one slip away, and, we could have actually been 7-5, and we saw a lot of development and progression. We brought in some good recruits. That's success, in my opinion, too.
All right, let me ask you guys this. I'm going to throw a scenario out here that I'm not sure that I'm totally opposed to. So let's say Arizona goes 5-7, but they lose like every game like 48-45, and by like game 10, Daggy is announced as the coach and the permanent coach. Is that a successful season for Arizona football? What say you?
Yes, but I don't think that Daggy's the head coach in Week 10 if we're 5-7.
But what if you're losing every game like 48-41 though, and it's just because of Daggy and they're just winging it all?
Yeah, but I mean,
I get your point
a
though.
Situation where Brennan gets fired midseason, I mean, we're probably talking about losing 2 non-con games and not winning a single conference game.
Yeah, that's not good. What say you? All right, let me ask you this. Let's say they go 5-7, but the offense looks awesome, and Daggy is then announced as the coach going forward. Is that a successful season? Yeah. I'm asking if the coach getting fired is a successful season.
Yeah. I think that's where I'm probably struggling a little bit with it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because if we go 5-7, I just don't see a world in which, we're not, DRF is giving Brennan a third year if we go 5-7.
Right. Yeah. Joseph, what say you?
Yeah, I I have a soft spot for T-Mac and Noah. So
Yeah.
if Noah looks bad still, then clean out the whole coaching staff. I don't care. I know what I saw with Noah
Yes.
the last year with Jed. I know he's not bad. It comes down to coaching for me on that end. So if he goes out there and, like you said, we lose games 48-45, Noah looks amazing, then I want Daggy as the head
Right.
coach. But yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, again, AZ Wildcat fan. I'm just throwing out scenarios, man. I'm not saying I want it to happen. I ideally want Brent Brennan to go 8-4, and he's the Big 12 Coach of the Year. So again, there's how about
Honestly,
that?
he's such a likable guy. Like,
He is. He's a great guy.
If we were at the point where 5 or 6 years from now, we're talking about Brent Brennan, the Arizona head football coach, the
Yeah.
current coach, that's success to me. Like, I want this to be the guy. It's just got to prove.
You know what that would be, guys? Another great Dave Hickey hire.
That's you're onto something there, Mike.
Yeah, I am on.
Hey,
something.
Mike, I got a question for you though.
No question. All right, what do you got?
So if Brent Brennan and Daggy light it up this year, let's say, and by lighting it up, I mean what, 7-5, 6-6,
Lighting it up's relative, yes, but go ahead.
you will admit you were wrong about Matt Atkins then. Because you
Oh,
and
yeah,
Skier, I remember you guys
No,
were,
I was
"This is
totally
the
wrong."
This is the brightest face. This is the future of football.
Totally
And
agree.
then nothing
Totally
changed.
agree. No, I know. I already admit I was wrong. They were terrible. Yeah, I mean, yes, I admit I was wrong. Now, back to you, Mr. Joseph. Marcus Delgado says, what's Joseph's prediction on Patterson's stats? We all know you were, oh, yeah, of course you're trying to black out now.
No.
Oh, we know what you're up to, young man. Are you as big on Patterson this year as you were last year, or are you taking a step back?
I was the ender of the Patterson agenda that you and Skier were pushing. Patterson, he's the next Tyreek Hill. He's better than Jacob Cowing. I know what my eyes saw, Mike. And I
never
promise
said
you,
he was better than Jacob Cowing. Get out of here.
I promise the chat that if he gets over 500 yards, I'll buy a Patterson NIL jersey.
Oh,
and
wow.
I'll come back on with it.
All right. Now, one thing we can all agree on, though, is Big Bill Norton, BBN.
Oh, yeah.
Skier looked really stupid with that one. Okay. Now, we're going to, let's see. Joseph needs to bring the mic over. Yeah, I'm not overhyping transfers. I got BBN right. Screw you, Dennis Walsh. All right. Now, are you in Phoenix, Joseph?
No, I'm in Tucson.
Oh, what is that? What is that in the back? Oh, are you up on River?
No, I'm off of like Broadway and Craycroft.
Oh, Broadway and Craycroft. Okay, like
Williams Center.
Oh, I was going to say like across from, hey, go get Payway for lunch. I got Payway.
You used to get Little Caesars for lunch, right?
No, yeah. Get Little Caesars. Yeah, there's no doubt. All right.
To Dennis Walsh's point, though, you do tend to overhype some of these transfers, like the Trey Townsend. All year we heard, look at his tourney. Mike, sometimes you need to keep your stats, nerd. We know what our eyes saw. We know what our eyes saw.
All right, fine. If you want to go with that, those are fighting words.
Same with ADO.
Keep
your stats, nerd. I know what I saw.
How about Caleb Love? People didn't want Caleb Love here. I wanted Caleb Love here. Take that, Joseph.
I'll always take a North Carolina reject or whatever. I liked Caleb Love.
Keyshawn Johnson said he was an NBA player. I was right.
Yeah, he came off a national championship team though.
Yeah, but he was 6-5 there. He was like a utility player.
You know which one we're going to like a lot this year that I think is being underhyped is Evan Nelson.
I like Evan Nelson.
Fan favorite on this team by January.
Yes, Joseph.
Mike, didn't you say you said in this show he's not getting more than 5 minutes a game?
No, I said in some games he's going to get 10 minutes a game. I like Evan Nelson.
Blowouts don't count. Come on.
No, he's going to play.
I think he'll get quality minutes.
And agreed. He's going to be a spacer too. The spacers are going to like him. He's a good shooter. Spacers are going to like him. That's all I'm saying. Now, real quick. All right, do we have any more reads here, Cody? Or are we good?
We have one more, and if Joseph is at Williams Center, I know it is right next door.
Oh my God, let's do it. Oh, back the bag, baby. Get the bag. Oh, this is good. All right, now you might be like Joseph, and you're like, man, I just got schooled by Mike on his Arizona baseball knowledge for the last 15 minutes. I got to cool off. Go get Baggins, my friend. Code AZ12 for 15% off. Joseph, if you go in there right now, they might even give it to you free. Go in there and say that you're with AZ12 and also tell them that you know Sonny. They will probably get you a free sandwich. I'm telling you right now, and then you can real time it. And again, you also like chocolate chip cookies, I can tell. Flowing Wells people always like chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Check
love
out.
them. Especially from Baggins.
Yeah, well, duh. Yes, use code AZ12 for 15% off. Locally owned and operated. Get the bag, baby. Get the bag. Okay, let's see here. All right, now. Green Valley. All right. Welcome to the Rock. Green Valley Dark River Rock.
B minus. B minus. Give us better. Give us a B minus.
Hey, it's in your neck of the woods, though. It's off like where is it? Like Wetmore and like La Cholla or like La Cañada or something. Do you speak Spanish, Joseph?
I got my minor in Spanish.
Oh, you do speak Spanish then. All right. Well, yeah, my fiance speaks Spanish. I don't speak Spanish, but I'm trying to learn. I'm getting very good. I know almost every verb in Spanish. You want to give me a verb in Spanish, and I'll tell you what it is.
Swimming.
Nadar.
Skiing.
Esquiar.
Ooh.
That's impressive.
Yeah, one more.
I'm actually impressed. Yeah.
Yeah, damn right. Mike Luke. Yeah, all right. Yeah, Duolingo with Mike Luke. All right. Anyways, get up there though. Get the rock, baby. And again, serving residents and contractors, 50 locally sourced landscaping materials. Tucson plus Green Valley Decorative Rock. But again, you guys know they are also in Tucson. This is true. You guys both know this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
For the right price, they'll
deliver anywhere. They'll deliver anywhere. Like I said, I don't know if they're going to deliver like Eastern Europe or something, but they might. But
it's north to Oracle, west to Marana, south to Nogales, east to Sierra Vista Benson.
Yes.
Yeah,
The best. I have so much. Now, I do apologize, Mr. Tyler Warden, for lumping you in with the Gen Zers. I do apologize. Yes,
I'll take the compliment on the youth, but
yeah.
I'm getting old.
There was an ASU guy going at me, and he says, "Dude, you're like a 30-year-old loser." And I'm like, "This guy thinks I'm 30. Take that, loser." But all right, now P. Hoff says Michael L. Luke, E.L. Luke. I like it. Yeah, it's good. All right, now, all right, real quick. Then I want to ask Joseph. All right, Cody. All right, you can take that off now. All right. Oh, I didn't see Dennis Walsh. I didn't see it. I apologize. I didn't see it. All right, real quick. Your guys' expectations then for Arizona basketball, Joseph, and then because Mr. Tyler Warren, you and I are on the same exact page. Joseph, what are your expectations? What's the standard?
Well, I personally back the Prim, and I would argue, Mike, because you refuse to admit it. With Carter Bryant, this team is a Final Four championship caliber team.
I still think they are.
Carter Bryant, our ceiling, I fear, is the Elite Eight, and I will be happy again with the Sweet 16, the ceiling being the Elite Eight, in my opinion.
Are you as sure about this as you were that Mason White wasn't going to be good at the U of A?
I like Mason White, actually.
Right. Mr. Tyler Warden, slap him around. You're smarter than me. You can make the point better than me for why he's wrong.
I think, all right, I love Carter Bryant as a player. He's going to be one of my favorite Arizona Wildcats of all time. We also trust in Tommy.
Yes.
And Tommy was playing ADO over Carter considerably throughout the season. And I think that with Aristod and Ivan, they're going to play significantly more minutes than ADO this year. I think that maybe the Carter hype has gotten a little out of hand. I don't think there is a material drop-off between having Carter back and not. Now, I think there's a little bit. I think there is a little bit because I think that Carter's development, we saw just how quickly he was growing, that you could basically pencil him as a Final Four. That's what Arizona fans were thinking. But I think this is very much still a Final Four contending team. Like at the end of the day, Carter Bryant still was averaging 6 and 4. Like this wasn't a guy that had 15 and 8.
Joseph, take the L.
No,
Joseph L. Joseph, what's your last name?
Keep your stats. I know what my eyes saw though with Carter. He was just different, and to downplay his potential development for next year is just.
Let me ask you this then. All right, I got a better question for you. Arizona's starting small forwards next year. You're a stat guy, as you've said throughout the show.
I said keep your stats. I know what my eyes saw.
I think Arizona's small forwards between those three are going to average at least 23, 7, and 6.
I mean, I hope Aristod is able to do that. That would be
not Aristod and all of them.
Between all three of them.
Yeah,
no, I know, but Aristod will carry that pack. I'm assuming.
What about Ivan? What about Ivan? You don't like Ivan because he's a cold soup guy, huh? Yo, you're skeptical. Skeptical Joseph.
Tommy's international recruiting. I have been a little bit skeptical about it. I will stand my ground on that. But I'm willing to be proven wrong on that. So
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time. Mr. Tyler Warden, make the case.
I don't think you're getting 6 assists a game. I don't think any of the 3 are like polished enough ball handlers or passers to
What
get
did
6
ADO
assists. 23 and 7. Yeah.
All right. What did ADO What did ADO average last year for assists? Anthony Delorio's stats. It goes Anthony Delorio. Let's see here. Dude, ADO averaged an assist and a half a game.
Wait, what?
He averaged an assist and a half per game.
Yeah.
All right, so let's say it's 5, not 6.
Yeah. I'll just say this. I think that whoever, though, you're getting.
I said 23, T-Burns, not 27. Be clear. Go ahead.
Between those 3, and I think it's going to be interesting because, in my opinion, I think Kharchenkov probably starts. Aristode's the next off the bench guy, and ADO's kind of this, plug and play type player. I think that is a good ceiling. 23 and 7 is a ceiling. It's a doable number. I just wouldn't pencil that in.
All right.
I think you're going to have a lot more front court production next year.
Joseph, you said that you're skeptical of foreigners. This is true.
No, just Tommy.
You just said it.
I loved Pella, unlike you. I loved Kerr, unlike you. Mr. Triple Double, unlike you. I have liked foreigners in U of A uniforms. Just with Tommy's, he sees more developmental projects, and that's just not today's NCAA basketball.
All right, well, let me ask you this then. Why do you like Aristode? He's a foreigner.
I like Aristode.
Yeah, why do you like him? He's a foreigner.
Because he leaves the same ranking as Carter Bryant, and I think
Joseph, I know why you like Aristode more. Come on. We're non-PC on this show. Come on.
I liked Aristode.
Why? He's a foreigner.
Because he's ranked extremely high, Mike.
I'll say this. Well, I'll save us from ourselves here. I think that, like, Tommy, when it comes to Euros, it's been hit or miss, like, particularly in the backcourt. But I think that Kharchenkov is more polished than a lot of the other Euros that we brought in.
All right. Yes, I would agree with that also. By the way, the T-Burns 826, they are saying, first of all, that was a smart answer, Joseph. But is it because of the natural tan or because he's obviously athletic and not sneaky athletic? And is that anything to do with Aristode or no?
No, I mean, Pella was sneaky athletic. Krivas looks sneaky athletic.
Yeah. All right.
Some guys are just sneaky athletic and some are just athletic.
All right, you guys are the great. One last thing I wanted to ask. What do you think about your generation, though, Joseph? Are you embarrassed by it?
No, Mike. I think you grill us a little too hard on that, especially with that Loot argument you like to make. Oh, you guys would want Loot fired. No, we wouldn't, Mike. No, we wouldn't.
Yeah, you would.
Because before Loot, there was no standard. We wouldn't have known any better before Loot. We wouldn't have known any better, just like the football program.
No. But after '88, he lost in the first round 3 out of 4 years as very high seeds to East. So you mean to tell me that your generation, Arizona going in as a 2 and 2 threes, would have been cool losing in the first round to Santa Clara, East Tennessee State, and Miami of Ohio? Not a chance in heck.
We wouldn't have been calling for Lute's head. I know that.
When they would have been calling for Lute's head is after losing to Illinois in 2005. If social media existed at that point, Gen Z would have been calling for his head.
For sure.
I counter though, because by then he already had his national championship, which I think makes him immune from any.
All right, I got a better one for you. You guys would have called if you were, let's say you're UConn fans. You guys, Danny Hurley had no NCAA tournament wins in his first 4 years. You would have been calling for him to be fired, correct?
Probably not. Mike, you're trying to catch me in a hypothetical right now.
No, it's not a hypothetical. It's a real thing. I'm asking if you are a UConn fan. If you were a UConn fan, would you have asked him to, or would you have said, please step aside, sir, you suck?
I am a U of A fan, and I would not have ever called for Lute's head. And I think the other Gen Zers respect that.
You're dodging my question, young man.
With UConn's program, I would understand why people would want to call for Dan Hurley's head.
Thank you. That's all I wanted. All right, Joseph, Mr. Tyler Warden, you guys are great. Joseph, I was very curious how you were going to do. You actually acquitted yourself very well. I know that sounds like a backhanded compliment because I said actually in there, but you did a very good job, Joseph. We're proud of you.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks.
All right. Mr. Tyler Warden, you always do a good job. You'll be back on again. Maybe I'll have both of you guys on sometime then. This actually didn't work that bad. You can get your computer to work as well, maybe.
Well, you can get Kobe on with his phone, right?
Yeah, well, no, Kobe's still. You know what's funny about Kobe? I gave Kobe crap just for a second, and I always give him crap about the Dodge Challenger with the 206,000 miles on it or whatever. Kobe never comes on. He's always got an excuse. He doesn't have a computer. He's worried that the government's going to trace him, which is another Gen Z thing. The government doesn't care, dude. Or just a bunch of weird stuff. So he will never come on. So anyways, it is what it is. Joseph, Mr. Tyler Warden, you guys are the best. Also, I need you guys to do something here for me. Big favors. Get Little Caesars today. Can you do this?
There's not a Little Caesars within like 45 minutes of where I live.
That's fine.
Actually, I got to go over to Glendale tonight for that 7-on-7 tournament. So maybe.
All right. Joseph, can I get you to say that you will get Little Caesars?
Yeah, I can get Little Caesars.
Today?
Sure. Yeah.
And you'll use the code and you'll real time it for us?
Yeah, I can real time it.
Excellent. Now, Joseph, look at you guys are getting compliments. You guys got a ton of compliments. I think it was Dennis Walsh said Mr. Tyler Warden's very smart, and then Joseph was excellent. Have him back, Joseph. You did a good job.
Cool.
Both of you guys. All right, you guys give me faith for the future. Although I guess we're in the same age bracket there. All right, for Joseph. For Mr. Tyler Warden, I am merely Mike Luke. You guys are awesome. TTFN, we will be back tomorrow. That's a shot at Kobe. I'll talk to you guys soon.